Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, it is a little bit of a blustery, but it's a warm day in Idaho today. Winds are about 17 miles an hour. Temperature is in the high 60s, might even hit 70. I'm telling you, it feels warm. You can tell I'm here in a t-shirt. But I have the DJI Mini 2 again with me today. This guy's been a little bit controversial since the last firmware update, and so I wanted to fly it again and see how it does. So this will be my third battery through it since that firmware update. The last time I flew it, I saw a little bit of instability upon takeoff, a little bit of toilet bowling, and then I saw a couple of little gimbal issues. Very slight, but no doubt they were there. So I want to fly it again and see how it does. And it just was a nice day to fly. It's warm, I mean, it's windy, but that's gonna be another good test for this guy because we wanna see how it handles these winds, and I think it's gonna be just fine because one of the cool things that DJI built into this guy is the 40-degree pitch angle so that it has the ability to battle windy conditions better than other mini drones. Now, the other thing that's going on is we've got the upcoming release of the Mini 3, rumored to be, let's see, today is the 18th, so about 10 days from today, rumored to see the Mini 3, so that should be interesting, and so another good reason to fly this drone. I also want to give a shout out to Stevie Bronx at the Capture Life Connection channel. While we were in Florida at the South Florida Drone Meetup, he caught some video of my little Evo Nano Plus, another little mini drone, taking a spill into the drink. Still don't know what happened with that drone, but just realized I had my AirPods on, so I stopped there to take them off. Anyway, Stevie did a great job capturing that. He put together a really cool video of it. I'll put a link down below, and I urge you to subscribe to Stevie's channel. He does some really good stuff. So anyway, let's quit messing around. Let's get this little DJI Mini 2 in the air. Okay, I'm showing ready to take off, and let's look at the safety menu real quick. And yeah, our distances are set okay. Not asking for any kind of calibrations. Let's look at battery info. Battery is good, as I would expect. So we're ready to go. We're gonna shoot in 4K 30. We are in fully automatic, and let's just fly around here and take a look at some stuff and see how the drone performs. So yeah, I'm going to start recording now, and I'm going to do a manual takeoff. So we're going to go both sticks down and in, and the motors are fired up. We got that altitude zone warning, so we click that out of that, and up on the left stick. And there's the little drone, and look at that, it's doing good. You know, as you might recall, the last time I flew it, I saw a little bit of toilet bowling. None of that right now. It's sinking a little bit as I yaw around it, but I'm going to tell you, there's significant, you know, there's a wind gust right now, so the drone is fighting that wind gust, and I'm sure it affects the barometer and the drone. So I'm pushing up on the left stick to keep it from sinking, but yeah, it's messy. It's a little bit of wind is what's pushing the drone around right now. But anyway, let's bring it over, up a little bit, and let's bring it in just a little. We can take a look at it. Cool thing is no obstacle avoidance sensors on this guy, so we can get it in close and look at that little gimbal and see how well it works, and it seems to be working good. You see how the gimbal drops there when we're in reverse, and then it picks up when you're in forward. That's what affects that the pitch angle of the drone, and that's why a lot of drone companies restrict that pitch angle, is they don't want that camera looking up at the nose of the drone. So you can see, I mean, like I said, it's fairly windy, and you can see the drone bobbing and weaving, but that's because of the wind, nothing else. So we're doing good. So what I'm going to tell you is, I am going to have to turn the drone the other way to do our droney, and we're kind of clear right now. So I'm going to stand in front of the drone. And I'm looking at the drone right now, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's got a significant tilt to it as it's fighting the wind. The wind is coming from the north, so I've got it in cine mode. Let's see. So I think it defaults back to normal, but it was in cine mode on the controller. I'm just trying to think here if I'm going to throw it in sport mode so I get maximum performance on this droney. So reverse and up now. And I want to go up at a fairly high rate here because I got some trees back there. And we're okay. And let's just let the drone, I can see the drone there. There's, I see an aircraft kind of to the west of us, but he's much higher than we are and very far west. So anyway, let's see, we're up about 23 meters high. That's about right. So you guys have seen this view of Julius Kleiner Park before. Let's yaw the drone around and kind of give you a look at the neighborhood a little bit. I've got some ideas of what I want to do there. That's a picnic shelter you see at the very bottom of the screen. And the little road there, it's a little one-way loop around the park. And then you can see all these walking trails, which are so cool. I love to walk here, and I do it quite often. This is just a few miles from my house. Come over here, get a couple miles in on these trails, and usually you see some kind of cool stuff in the ponds here and so forth. So maybe we should do that first. Maybe we should take a look over the fishing ponds, and you're going to see some people fishing around the edge here, and we're going to stay out of their way. And I think we're high enough up that we're not going to bother anybody. And I'm going to keep at this height. I'm going back into normal mode, and I'm going to drop the gimbal down a little bit. And just to kind of get myself in shape here on the sticks, I'm going to see if I can do a little lap around this little circle, a manual circle around this fountain here. We won't do a 360, but we'll go most of the way around it. And you know, the little mini drone, look at that. I mean, it just handles. What's weird about this little guy is that you don't really know that you're flying a mini drone. When you're flying it, it just handles like a bigger Mavic. That's just a little bit of the magic that DJI puts in this drone. So one of the things that I thought that I wanted to try here is to go over here to the band shell. And we're gonna pay attention because I know there were some people over there earlier, and I see a guy walking there. But that's the band shell, and you guys have seen it before, but I want to just try some different moves around it here. So let's move, we're going to move forward over the top of it. And you guys have seen this sculpture here before as well. And again, we're about 23 meters high, so that'll kind of tell us how high that sculpture is. Look at that sculpture. Let's see if we can kind of get over the top of it here. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of cool. I see somebody else there right by the band shell, so we're going to pay attention to that. We're going to go right over the top of the band shell. Let's see if we can maybe get in front of it a little bit here. And there's a hill behind us, and so I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want to back into the hill. I don't think it's that high, but if you follow me, I try and use an abundance of caution. And looks like we got a little guy. Yeah, we're well out of their way, so that's good. So that is the band shell. Let me see if I can drop some altitude here. Let me look straight down first because there are some trees down there, but no, we're not in front of any of the trees. So we should be able to drop down here. So let's drop down and give you guys a look into the band shell. And of course, this might block my signal, so it could end up throwing the drone into return to home. But my signal strength looks really good, so no issues there. So that's the band shell, and you see those two, I don't know, kind of tent covers or whatever. Because this band shell faces due west, the setting sun goes right into the band shell. So they had to put those up to so the performers weren't looking right into the sun when they used the band shell. So we're going right back up here, and let's go right over the top of it. I think that's the best look I've given you of the band shell ever. So let's go right over the top of it. We're about 48 meters high. I'm going to go, oh, we're getting a strong wind warning, so I'm going to bring it down. Discretion is the better part of valor. A little bit didn't like the wind up there. Although, as you guys noticed, you'd never know it from flying the drone. I mean, you know, if I hadn't got the wind warning on the screen, I probably wouldn't have known that. So we're going to lower some more. Let's get down here a little bit. And I see that it went into map mode here, and I want it back into the attitude mode so I can see the attitude of the drone. So what I want to do right now is I want to go straight up and I want to turn. So I've done this to the left before. I'm going to try and do it to the right, to the drone's right. And we're going to go straight up and kind of give you a turn look at the band shell. So we kind of got off there a little bit. What's interesting about that is I wasn't on the right stick at all. But anyway, let's do a little reveal here. Let's pick the camera back up, and you can see the park there, and you can see what's called the Village at Meridian Shopping Center off in the distance there. We're not going to go anywhere near that park. There's a lot of folks there, so we'll just stay well away from that. And, you know, when I fly here, I try and fly over the, and I'm going to drop some altitude because there is some wind here. I try and fly over the top of the ponds here. That way, you're less chance that you're bothering anybody. So, and there are a fair amount of people in the park today. And we should see, although I'm not seeing it so much on my FPV screen here, but we should see some waterfowl down here. I saw the first goslings of the season today in the other pond, so we'll look. Yeah, and I'm getting a warning that we're in an altitude zone, and I've talked about that before. That always mystifies me. That really has nothing to do with FAA regs or anything. They're saying 150 meters. Well, all you're legal to fly at is 120 meters, so I'm not sure what the point of that warning is, but DJI puts it in there. And what that means is that we're on that part of the Boise airport. We're below their landing pattern. But trust me, at the point that we're at now, any aircraft coming into the Boise airport are thousands of feet in the air, not even close to where we're at. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to pay attention. Of course you do. But I just was always thought that 150 meter warning was just superfluous. I'm not sure why they do that. So, okay, let's get down here a little bit to the other pond. And I see some people fishing there, so I'm going to grab some altitude because I don't want to bother them. You know, if they see a drone above them. So let's get in a little closer. And we're going to do a rotation around this guy too. So I'm going to go the other direction from what I did last time. And I'm in normal mode here. Normally, the best way to do this kind of stuff is in cine mode. Yeah, we're keeping it pretty much in the center there. And let's do a little reveal as we finish it off here. Picking up the camera. And there you can see the rest of the park. So we still have 52% battery, 21 satellites, great connection. And we're 52 meters high right now. I'm going to drop a little bit. Again, at the top of the screen there, that is the Village at Meridian Shopping Center. So what I was just thinking the other day, I've never really gone across here, and we can go over this open field across, and I'm going to avoid the car. So I am full stick forward in normal mode, so yeah, we're fighting a little bit of a wind, so yeah, I'm gonna call that good. All right, let's throw it in sport mode and see what happens. Yeah, and I'm getting a wind warning, so let's drop her down. Drop it down. Yeah, it must have been meeting a pretty good gust there, because although it's funny how the wind changed. It was coming from the other direction. Now it's going into a headwind now. But look here in sport mode. We seem to be doing okay, so let's go out here across the field here. Let's pause and let that guy go by, and full stick forward. And I can show you some other stuff here. We're just going to stay over the top of this field, and I'm going to drop some altitude. We're safe. There's nothing that's going to hit us here. Flight out. Yeah, so it's giving us that sport mode warning, and you know, the drone kind of continued to descend there, so I'm going to put it back in normal mode. There's normal mode. And what happens is when you go into sport mode, because of that pitch angle I was telling you about, and I'm full stick forward at under 4 meters per second right now, so it's fighting a headwind. So we're not going to mess around here too long. We're at 39% battery. But that is another Walmart that you see off there in the distance. And by the way, coming home we'll have the wind with us, so that's why I'm not too worried. So, and this is the street that you're looking at here is one of the busiest streets in Idaho. That is in Idaho, excuse me, Idaho. Anyway, it is probably the busiest street in Idaho. Maybe Eagle Road, I don't know, but it's very busy. And then there's a big old CarMax right there. They talk about a shortage of cars. CarMax sure seems to have a lot of them. So now as we come back this way, I'm going to pick the gimbal up just a tad, and we should see the drone, yeah, pick up speed significantly. Look at that. So we're going the other way, still in normal mode. We're at 9 meters per second, 10 meters per second, and I'm feeling a big gust of wind on me right now. I don't know if the drone is feeling that, but let's go over here real quick, and I'm going to go drop the gimbal down, and we'll do a little half circle around this sculpture, and then we'll come home. So that's one of 3 sculptures, and boy, I'll tell you what, I just felt another big gust of wind. So I'm not going to mess around too long here. It's probably time for this little guy to come home. So let's pick up the camera, and we can cut right through here. And again, I'm in normal mode, so we're not, and you know, God, we're at 10 meters per second. It's definitely got the wind at its back, so no real worries there. Let's, so I am right over here. So yeah, let's follow this little trail. I don't see anybody on it, so I think we're good there. And I'm seeing what looks to me like a fairly significant tilt, but yeah, there's also a lot of wind, so now it's kind of straightening out, but there was a little bit of a tilt there. So you can see me down there, right there. Do you see that bicycle? I'm going to pause for a second, make sure he goes by before we go over the top. And we're down to 26% battery. Let's just do one more loop around here, and then we'll bring it home. So this is the, and I can hear the drone above me, and it's wild. You can hear the props fighting the wind. So this is one of those picnic shelters, and what I think is cool is, well, you can see somebody playing in it, so we're not going to go over the top of it. But they put little play structures by those too, so that, you know, if you're having a picnic with your kids, they've got something to do there. So yeah, kind of cool. Pick up that camera for another little reveal here. And there I am down there. Let's bring this guy home. We're at 23% battery. We're in good shape. Let's bring her down and bring her in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one of those twist and turns up before we land it. And I'll tell you what, the drone is moving around. I picked the drone up there because it was drifting in the wind. Let me tell you, there is some wind here. Yeah, and it wants to come home, so I'm not going to do what I was going to do. It's down to 20% battery is why it's doing that. So let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a decent landing here. Putting it in cine mode. We're going to drop it down. And I'm watching the drone here. Let's see if we can move it forward. I'm telling you, the wind is really moving this guy around, so I'm a little bit reticent. Okay, straight down. Uh-oh, well, yeah, just what I was afraid of at the last minute. The wind blew it over, and it tipped over a little bit, but no harm, no foul. It was right on the edge, so we're good to go. Let's stop recording. Yeah, I should have just lighted it out here on the pavement, knowing how much wind there was, and I was watching it getting blown around there a little bit, but you can't help but try, right? So anyway, let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the DJI Mini 2, I really can tell you that some of the issues that I'd seen in the 2 flights previous to this, after the firmware update, I didn't see any of them. And this was a much more challenging flight today. We had some pretty decent wind, and that is the other really strong point of this DJI Mini 2. I'm telling you, there is no way I would have been comfortable doing that flight with any mini drone but this one. You just wouldn't, not in this kind of wind. Autel's got the Nano Plus, and I know there's a lot of fans. I like the camera on that drone. There's a lot of things I like about it. But one of the things is it doesn't have a strong wind performance and can get blown around. And on a day like today, I'm not saying that you would have lost it. I'm saying that you would have struggled a lot more. Probably the next best performing mini drone in the wind is the Fimi X8 Mini. It's a pretty strong, sporty little drone, but none of them get close to what this guy can do. And you saw, even when I was going directly into the wind on the over the open field over there, it was still making headway. It wasn't. And then when I put it in sport mode, heck, it was fine. And of course, it gave us that warning, and that warning is exactly what I was talking to you about. And let me fold the arms here, and so I can maybe demonstrate it. Well, I'll leave the arms out. So as the drone pitches forward, and this is capable of pitching at a 40-degree angle, which I'm thinking is roughly about there. This camera has to look up. And so the camera is going to see the nose of the drone here as it pitches forward. So what DJI does, and what most drone companies do, they'll have the camera automatically look down a little bit. And so that's what you see sometimes, and that's indeed what we saw when we were out there over the field, because the drone was fighting the wind, and it had to really pitch forward to fight that wind, and that's, but that's to be expected. So yeah, I mean, I just love the performance of this little guy, and it makes me even more excited about the Mini 3. The Mini 3 is going to have, if we can, all the speculation that's out there, an even better camera for sure. It's going to have obstacle avoidance. It's going to have, I'm willing to bet, better wind performance and probably be more powerful than this guy, which is even better. So it's going to be a full-featured drone. There's even rumors that it may have tracking on it. So those are all things that a lot of people have been asking for. So anyway, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. I actually had a lot of fun out here flying today. So yeah, that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Mini 2, yeah, let you get a good look at it here. It did kind of tip off over the edge of the picnic table there, but really there's not even a scuff, so we're in good shape. All right, see you guys later. Bye now.